Hi guys, welcome to Pointy Not Sharp. So I had a comment on one of my videos recently. Someone was wanting to have a look at my collection of Cold War era bayonets. And if you haven't seen my video on Cold War era bayonets, I reckon they're severely underrated as collectibles. Everyone wants World War One, World War Two, Victorian era stuff. But these are mine here. The reason I rate them so highly is, like, first off, they're still really cheap. There's not a terrible lot of interest in them. Second, they're usually very small, very portable, so you can just chuck them in a small box like this and they don't take up a lot of space. Third, they come in like really beautiful bright colours. They've got like the rich red Bakelite, the greens and all kinds of things. And I just find them a lot more interesting as well. Oh, and finally, you don't have to worry about cleaning them as much or oiling them because the finishes are, more modern or plastic and usually a lot more forgiving and a lot easier to look after. But yeah, all that aside, I'll show you what I've got in my personal collection. So first off, I've got it's actually a US M7 and it's probably one of my favourites, even though it's got a big chip in the blade. But just a Bock M7, so it's a US. And then I've got an Australian M10 scabbard to go with it. I still need the actual Australian bayonet, but they're impossible to find. I've only seen one or two sell in the last couple of years, and they've been like $500. So yeah, I like it. I actually used one of these during my recruit phase and initial employment training in the army as an infantryman. So yeah, used them at the bayonet assault course at Scapula and Singleton. I broke one too. Second, I've got my Polish 6H4 bayonet. I got this one pretty early on. I really like it. We know it's Polish because it doesn't have a sawback. I've got quite a few AK bayonets. I don't like them a terrible lot, but I don't know why. I just seem to keep getting them. But I don't think I'll get any more other than maybe a book if I come across one of them, because I think they're awesome. Got what's this one? A Russian 6X4. I've got it in a Ukrainian frog. So this one didn't come from Ukraine. I got this one from eBay here in Australia. Super cheap too. I think it was $120. And then like another $10-20 for the frog as well. I thought it was a cool little combo. Not a very tight fit frog. Got my Finnish M62 Valmet bayonet, razor sharp. I got it for $200 US, direct from Finland. I reckon that's a decent price. I've seen them sell for a bit more than that. I've got the gem of my collection, the Portuguese AR10, possibly my favourite bayonet at the moment. Beautiful wooden grips. Usually these are in horrible condition. There's only a couple thousand made. Saw extensive use in Africa and they got absolutely trashed. The issue with this one is the hilt strap's actually broken off. I'll have to sew that back on. Or just leave it because I don't want to mess with it. Another AK bayonet. This one, where is it? I'm looking for my Circle 10. It's Bulgarian. Might not be marked, I can't really remember. Yeah, there it is, under the hilt strap, Circle 10. Got our notches cut in the scabbard, indicating months of national service. I've also got that on my Russian one as well. This one has 24. It's either this one or my other one. No, it's this one. It's my other one. I just really like the red Bakelite on these bayonets. That's probably why I've got a couple of them. I'll pull out my other Russian one. So this is one of those cheapo ones that's coming out of Ukraine for like, $20. I got it because it has the really interesting pommel on it. It's got the lightened pommel where it's cut out as opposed to all the rest that are solid. So I can't justify, spending another $300 on another AK bayonet, but I thought this was a good little example, and it comes with 24 notches for 2 years of national service. I've got my Australian L1A2. This was one of my first bayonets as well. It's got it very early on. I've shown it in a lot of videos. That's one of the earlier ones with the square fuller. I use this one for the occasional funeral. So here in Australia, when an ex-service member or service member passes away and they want a military style funeral, we place a slouch hat at the top of the casket, some flowers and their medals, and then a bayonet in the center. And the bayonet sort of depended on their generation, I guess. The older boys get the P1907s, Vietnam era guys get these, and I've seen one funeral with a guy using an M7. That was a modern soldier who passed away in a car accident. But yeah. What else we got? Alright, last AK, and then we'll jump into the European stuff. So it's a Russian 6x5, another one out of Ukraine. Same as my 6x4. I'm hoping to get my hands on surplus blades or blade blanks at some point to transplant them. The only thing outstanding then will be the throats from the scabbards. I have my two FAL Type A's. I really like FAL Type A's. They're just, I know they look funky and a bit stupid, but A, I love the FAL because it's just awesome rifle. And B, the amount of technology that went to this bayonet, they're really innovative. Got our flash hider on the muzzle ring, because the rifle doesn't have one. And that has a free recoil system, which is a big spring on the inside. So when you fire the rifle will compress the spring and move, and the bayonet will not affect the harmonics of the rifle, or it's not supposed to. I don't know how effective it actually was, but this one's Belgian. It's got the wooden grips and Belgian markings on it. And my other one here is South African Police, I believe, SAP. It's got all the South African markings ground off just here. My very first bayonet, first one I ever bought, my STGW 57. So these are a bit funny, like they're really common, really cheap, and everyone will tell you that the bayonet's either made by Victorinox or Wenger. It's actually not true. The metal components are made by Victorinox and Wenger. The actual bayonets are made at Waffen Fabrics Bern. We've got a Waffen Fabrics Bern marking just there. And all metal components are made by Victorinox and Wenger. All plastic components are made by someone else I can't remember. And the throat of the scabbard down here is made by Bayard, and it's assembled at Waffen Fabric. And I've got the vinyl frog on it. I've got a leather one as well. I recently found out it is in fact a repro. All this time I thought it was real. I had a very knowledgeable guy tell me it was real, and unfortunately for me he was wrong. Second bayonet I ever got was a Sem L. These are really cheap here in Australia. Like $89 online. If you haven't got one already and you live in Australia, get one, because they're hell cool and they won't be around cheap forever. I don't like the Spanish stuff too much, but this one I do like. I think the Sem L rifle's pretty cool, and I like the link to it with this bayonet. Next, I've got my FN49. I absolutely love the FN49 rifle. I've shot one in 30-06. It was a mishmash of parts made from a number of different rifles, but my favorite rifle by far. I absolutely love it. And the bayonet itself is fantastic as well. Like, it looks a bit flimsy, but it's an absolutely solid blade. It's quite sharp. Severely underrated, in my opinion. I want to get a Lithuanian one. This is a Belgian one. I'm not terribly keen on an Egyptian one. I'm not really into Egyptian weapons. I'm probably a bit prejudiced towards them. In my opinion, they're a bit low quality, but it's probably not the fact. And finally, the last Cold War era bayonet in my collection is a Portuguese 948 for the 948 submachine gun. Made in Portugal. Really, really nice little blade. You don't come across them too often. Later it was updated into the 963 configuration. It has a muzzle ring and a blockier pommel. I'm desperate to get one. If you know where one's for sale, let me know. I will buy it. And that'll round out my Portuguese collection. I only need probably one or two more. Anyway, guys, those are my Cold War bayonets, all the ones in my collection. I have filmed a lot more, but a couple of them I bought and sold, a couple of them belong to my mate, and a couple of them just other people have been kind enough to loan to me and let me film. But I really like them. I didn't realise I was a Cold War bayonet guy until I examined my collection a couple of months ago and realised that the majority of my collection is Cold War stuff. But yeah, they're really cool and underrated. I reckon the next couple of years they're probably going to start going up in value. We've already seen that in the last year or two. So if you can get them cheap, it's definitely a good time to buy them. Anyway guys, that's all I've got for you today, and thanks for watching.